How are you doing?
Good morning. Welcome to the Ashes to Rubies conversational podcast about life in recovery. I'm Vicky.
I'm John.
And this is Buddy.
Buddy! How you doing, buddy?
Buddy the pug.
Buddy the pug.
He's a little needy this morning.
Is he? Yeah, he needs his mommy.
Wake up feeling needy some days?
No. Okay, the obvious answer is yes. Okay. I get needy on the other end of the spectrum, like more of the nighttime. Like, I'm so tired. Oh, I need attention. Why are you reading a book? Pay attention to me. I'm more like needy on that end of the day. Do you find that you're needy in the morning?
Super needy.
Needy of what?
I need quiet. I need space. I need coffee. I need quiet.
Your pug doesn't bother you though. Does the pug ever bother you?
No.
So the other lots of mornings I wake up and the pug is dominant on your pillow. You're at the edge of your pillow and the pug is like sleeping on your pillow amongst your hair.
I threw him off my pillow at least twice last night.
Oh, buddy, do you feel unloved? Buddy, do you feel needy? He's only needy when it's
He's always needy.
He's always needy. Yeah. No one does. Do people like needy people? It's not a good characteristic.
Well, there is a little bit of a relationship dance that happens, though, between
people in a relationship.
Yeah, between people and relationship and neediness, and
it's one of those characteristics that I don't personally want on myself, but I know that I do it in a way that is like, I don't want to be like that. I want to be confident. What's the opposite of needy? Fulfilled?
So, I mean, that's where I think you would come with the word like independent, codependent, or interdependent, right? And so in relationship, we should really be interdependent.
Which
would mean that there's some give and take, and that, it's like we have like discussions around what relationship looks like, but we can be independent, but we're interdependent.
So then
some crossover, perfect. But some independence.
We're perfect because you're needy in the morning and I'm needy in the evening. So then it works out. So that's interdependently needy.
Yeah. So, you'll say like, oh, why do you need to go out with your friends?
Because I say that?
You want to come with me, or you want all my
like
attention.
Even last night.
But you're joking. And so I go out with my friends anyway. And
yeah, you do lots of things.
We do stuff together, but I still make my decisions but I like to take you into consideration. I like to take into consideration the fact that, especially before, like, that you're not, I can be social all the time, and that's not really exciting for you.
You're making me feel
I like to take that into consideration.
I thought.
No. But then what I've realized is I'll overdo it. So I'll be too social, and then I'll be too tired and too like irritable. And so it's wisdom for me to take some of your cues.
Some of my neediness cues.
No.
I'm starting to really see that how needy I am. Like the other day, you're like, okay, I'm going to the grocery store and I'm working. And I'm like, me too. I'm coming. You need me. The reality is, you don't need me. I need you. Yeah.
Man. You like to come to the grocery store.
I'm needy. I am a little bit needy.
It's not a bad thing, but it's like, why, right? And so why do I want to be alone? Am I pushing people away, or is it just good for me to recharge and be on my own? And so looking at those underlying motivations is really like helpful. I'm your favorite person, and I love that.
Well, if the pug was a person,
you
would be a second. I guess need is a good thing, but needy can be not a good thing. So I need people, but I don't want to be needy for people.
But do I need you in order for me to be okay?
Do I complete
right?
you?
So that is right there.
What
is
movie
so
is that
wrong.
from? You complete me. Wasn't that Jerry Maguire?
Yeah.
You
and
complete
it's so
me.
wrong.
Oh.
Like I actually think that people respond negatively to someone who is that needy, right? And so like, if I'm not okay unless you're everything that I need you to be for me, you're not going to respond well to that, right? That's like,
when you look at it, that's
repulsive.
a super codependent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So, if I need you to tell me how much you love me, if I need you to tell me how beautiful I am, like
Morgan says healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries.
It's old really, really soon for you, because I'm, and I don't think I was as like overt as that, but I did need, even like as recently as last year or 2 years ago, I needed you to talk a certain way in order for me to feel okay. I needed you to,
That's good. I think there has to be a balance of like, I do need people, but I don't want to be needy for people to be able to get my life of validation from them.
People respond really well to people who are, to a certain extent, have confidence and like are well with God, well on they're well and of good.
Well, I think part of it is bringing strength to all of my relationships instead of taking from my relationships. Yes. So that's the difference. I need relationships, but I don't want to be needy in my relationships because I'm drawing strength from them. Right. So my goal is to bring my strength and go from consumer to fruitfuler.
The codependent thinks that they're giving a lot of strength to the relationship.
They're actually taking it. Very good. All right, we're going to read our morning meditation. So this is a concept of healthy living, of recovery that we bring throughout the day. So however this is speaking to you, we'll probably unpack it a little bit and then get one concept out of it. So this one is called New Direction. Here's a quote. Our human resources, as marshaled by the will, were not sufficient. They failed utterly. So our thinking has failed utterly. Every day is a day when we must carry the vision of God's will into all of our activities. So saying that our will wasn't enough. It gets us
the marshal drives, right? Isn't the marshal like it like drives the like shouts the orders and so the marshal.
Yeah, what's
this is saying that the will is being marshaled, like pushing our human. What does that say?
Resources,
right?
Human resources as marshaled by the will. So us being directed and controlled and driven by our will.
It's not enough.
Our lives suck. All right, that's true of me. Yeah, and that's without drinking or drugs or relationships. So without any of that, we're still get into trouble. So I hear talk of the weak-willed alcoholic, but I am, or codependent, but I am one of the strongest-willed people on earth! ! I now know that my incredible strength of will is not enough to save my life. My problem is not one of weakness, but rather of direction. When I, without falsely diminishing myself, accept my honest limitations and turn to God's guidance, my worst faults become my greatest assets. My strong will, rightly directed, keeps me working until the promises of the program and relationship with God become my daily reality. That's cool, because they're not trying to... It's like we have certain characteristics, and I look at addicts. There is no human demographic on this world that has such a strong will to kill themselves as the person in addiction. So we have this will, but it's headed in the wrong direction.
Right.
So then how do we get a new director? How do we get a new marshal? We have to make contact with God. So we have to turn over our will and our life to the care of God. And then we get the promises of being directed by God and not directed by ourselves. So that's what that's speaking to me about, is kind of using what God gave me and then directing it differently. Mm-hmm. So it's the same thing as being needy. I don't need to be needy in relationships. I just have to redirect what I'm getting out of relationships. So am I trying to get out of relationships, or am I giving into relationships? Am I giving my strength, or am I taking? Mm-hmm. So then I have God directing my will as opposed to me and my efforts, because they got me into lots of trouble.
I like how this says, when I, without falsely diminishing myself, accept my honest limitations, and turn to God's guidance, my worst faults become my greatest assets. My strong will, rightly directed, keeps me working until the promises of recovery become my daily reality. And this makes me laugh. It makes me think of, I used to say that you don't do anything half-assed. That's what
You're allowed to swear. Is that a swear? I don't even know.
I don't want to change it because I don't want to change it because that's what I used to say.
Yeah, I don't take the half measures.
Head first into like everything, and then like you threw yourself into like everything. You would like. I remember when we first met. You were working at a pizzeria. We were in high school, and you were working at a pizzeria. And then during football season, you quit the pizzeria so that you could focus on football. And I was fine with that because you were super generous with your money when you had it, when you were working. And so I was like, okay, during football season, it's all about football and and so then as addiction started to really take over, that is really what you threw yourself into. And that became like your life, and that it took over our lives for 13 years. Then when you went into recovery, and I was like, oh my goodness, I started to see what was happening. And I'm like, well, this is the same thing. Like you threw yourself in and it was like recovery, like every day, all day. And I remember someone saying, something about like the pink cloud and thinking and saying like, oh, this is going to wear off. And I was like, oh, I hope not. Like, I hope this doesn't wear off, and I see that in people all the time of like, well, I don't want to live like recovery every day of my life. I'm like, really? Because my life sucked before. I don't want to go back to that. So if this is going to be my life where we're going to talk about recovery every single day, and then all of a sudden I'm live streaming from my kitchen like every day.
This is your dining room.
Fine. I don't love it. Yeah. I feel awkward and uncomfortable and oftentimes way too insecure, but I'm like, this is an incredible life. I can't even believe this is my life.
And so all the promises are coming true on a daily basis. So what we mean by recovery on a daily, everyday basis is actually connecting to God. Yeah. So where we were disconnected and isolated, that's what addiction is. That's what the promises of addiction are. But the promises of recovery is that we'll know purpose, that we will be connected, and that we will be directed and powered by God. Yeah. And so that's what we do on a daily basis. So that's what recovered is.
I woke up this morning. I don't wake up well, but I woke up this morning saying, God, it's your day. And I want to give you this day, and your will, not mine, be done. And I'm going to go downstairs and pretend to work out on that exercise bike.
Then you're super open and vulnerable.
Because at least I'm there.
I made
it downstairs. And then we sat together and we did like a meditation together, and we did some readings together, and we talked about what does our day look like? Where do we have insecurity? Where do we have indecision, self-pity and insecurity. So we talk about that every morning. We talk about what does our day look like? What are the things that are coming in this day that could actually send me into like a headspin?
Yeah, what sends me off the path of being connected to God? What disconnects me from God? And that's my thinking. And so God actually has to direct my thinking all day long.
And praying about it and just saying, like, okay, God, we give this to you today. And then we come and do this.
And so it's together. Just like our cell phone where we plug it in every night. We're opposite. We unplug at night and we go to sleep. God can obviously speak to us in our dreams and whatnot. But I have to plug in. We have to plug in. And that's what the recovered life is plugging into God every morning.
And the truth is that I often don't plug my cell phone in at night.
I do.
And you know what happens the next day?
It's dead.
I'm scrambling.
Chaos like, creator. Oh, no. Oh my goodness.
I have to go grocery shopping and I want to listen to a podcast and I'm going to run out of battery and I have to do this phone call later. I'm going to run out of battery. And then I'm just like scrambling all day. And so that's really a good day starts the night before.
Woo! A good day starts the night before. We plan. We don't cause the chaos. All right. That's a good place to leave. So the meditation today is, am I heading in a new direction with my thinking? Am I letting God be the manager of my life? Or am I trying to continue to be the boss? I'm to be the child. He's the father. He's the employer. I'm the employee. And so let's be on mission for God to spread his love and his joy and his peace and his comfort. We are poured into by God so that we can pour out to the world around us. So keep the peace, be of good behavior, and wash those hands. And we will see you tomorrow. Good.